Welcome everybody to the extended review of
Lady Ballers?
of there we go.
Lady Ballers.
On
Produced by the Daily
on
Wire on
wait. Why are you
their
talking?
platform.
Stop talking. I'm not done. On the Brandon and Ryan hour. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Ryan.
Way to ruin the intro.
Yes, I ruined the intro. But, like Brandon said, we are talking about Lady Ballers. Well, like I said, we are talking about Lady Ballers, which is on Daily Wire's streaming platform thingamadoo.
Thingamajigger.
Thingamajigger. It's billed as the most triggering comedy of the year, and we're going to talk about it. When we do these reviews, we do talk about them like we've seen it because we have, so that means spoilers. So there you go.
We should do an in-depth review and not watch the movie one time and see what happens. See how much we get right about the movie.
That could be a fun thing to do on like April Fools.
Yeah. I like it. Write
Anyway.
it down because we're definitely gonna forget it.
So, what did you think about Lady Ballers?
So, like this kind of came out of nowhere. Like I hadn't heard anything about it, and then all of a sudden they were like, "Hey, next week we got a new movie coming out called Lady Ballers."
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the preview, and I was like, "This actually looks kind of funny." And I haven't seen a decent comedy in a while, so I haven't seen a decent comedy in a while that wasn't supposed to be an action movie.
Okay, all right.
Or a superhero movie. And yeah, so sent your messages. I was like, hey, we got to watch this.
Yep. And I hadn't been paying attention to any of the Daily Wire stuff. So, just like you, I hadn't known about this until you sent it to me. And he's like, oh, okay. I wasn't sure how funny it would be, but I was pleasantly surprised.
And I think I've watched some of their other movies. I don't know if we've done any reviews on them. I can't think of what their other movies are right now.
Was we that did on
Gina
Terror
Carano
on
movie
the Prairie,
where she was
called Terror on the Prairie.
Yeah. Terror on the Prairie. What was the other one?
Run, Hide, Fight. I'm not sure if we reviewed that one or not.
No, I think that's an older one.
Yeah,
they did that a couple years ago.
That was their first one.
And then there was that other one about superheroes.
Oh yeah, with the guy from The Princess Bride.
Yeah.
I forget what that movie was called, but yes.
I can't remember what that's called either. It had a weird name. Cary Elwes was in. What was that called? Started with an E.
I don't know, dude. I have no idea at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to look because it's bugging me.
Well, look later.
Oh, the Hyperions.
Yeah. Okay, look later because we're talking about Lady Ballers today.
Are we? Or are we talking about the Daily Wire's Lady Ballers? Because that plays a factor into the talking about it. But
okay.
We'll sprinkle that in as we go. So, I thought it was a good comedy. It harkens back to, early 2000s comedies, kind of a satire comedy.
Mm-hmm.
What did I say? It was a mixture of White Chicks and
Mrs.
Doubtfire and something else that I'm forgetting at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, anyway, if you want to know what the other movie was, go watch our spoiler-free review. There'll be a link in the description or somewhere. All right. What about you?
Yeah. So overall, I thought it was it did its job as a comedy. I chuckled a few times. I actually laughed, like really laughed a few times or a couple times.
Didn't fake laugh?
No, like
There's
more
no
than
fake
just
laughter in this movie?
no, like I chuckled a few times, but then I actually had a real laugh, like a legitimate, not just
I
chuckle
know. I'm
laugh.
just
Okay,
messing with you.
yeah. So I thought it overall did a good job. Um, it wasn't a perfect movie by any means, but it was a fun comedy.
Oh, duh. Yeah. Um. Yeah, it's got a lot of. I mean, not a lot, but yeah, there's some things where you're just like, it's not supposed to be a perfect movie. It's supposed to be a dumb, just you know, it's not gonna win any awards for
Mm-hmm.
writing or directing or comedy or actors, anything like that. It's just a regular movie,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's just like a
Right.
regular person's comedy. It's, you know, I don't know. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it's been a while to have just a regular kind of comedy that's good.
But yeah.
What about
So
the premise?
the well, I was about to go into it, so thank you. Yeah. So the premise of
You're
the
welcome.
movie is there's a coach who's kind of out of work, like can't keep a job down, and ends up meeting one of his old high school students who works at a cross-dressing bar, and then
What do you call those?
I don't know, nor do I care.
I don't know. Yeah, whatever.
Um, but yeah, so runs into him when he's looking for a job, and then realizes, hey, there's a local competition where we can win $5,000, and the cross dresser that he ran into shows up with a wig, and then hilarity ensues. He competes as a woman,
Like,
and
yeah,
then
yeah, he
they
competes as a woman because they wouldn't let him sign up for a man in the men's team because he was late for sign in,
because the lady doing
and then the lady
sign-ins
had all the
was
buttons and pins
an
and stuff for
ally, right?
all the ally stuff.
Uh-huh.
When he got tased and he hit his head into the table, like that was comedy gold
Yeah.
because it looked like he actually did that in real life.
Yep.
Like I'm like, how did they do that where it looked like he just smacked the crap out of himself in that table?
Yeah. I mean,
I
that was
wonder if
well
he
done.
did.
Who knows? I mean, I'm sure he knows. I don't though.
Right. Yeah. Like, did he get a concussion from that?
Yeah,
Oh,
and then from there, they get blackmailed by a reporter to keep pursuing this
charade,
charade. Yep, I like it.
facade. Yes.
And then they start playing basketball. He gets his old high school basketball team together
The
and
yeah.
convinces them all because they're all losers except one uh, super rich guy
Who's kind of a loser.
who's still kind of a loser, but
He's just a
like he's
loser with
actually
money.
a successful loser.
Right.
Um, convinces them all to say that they're women now and compete in what looked like it was
Didn't
supposed to
take a lot
be,
of convincing.
yeah, but to compete in what looked to be the Olympic trials, but they called
Olympics.
it like the global games or something stupid like that.
Yeah, because it Olympics is licensed and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So okay, so the whole movie is kind of like just one long montage.
Okay.
Like everything is like the opening setup. Like you don't know why he's a loser, why he's getting divorced or is divorced or whatever. You you see the opening scene where his team wins their third championship, and then it immediately goes to him being a loser,
Mm-hmm.
and then um picking up his daughter, and it's all just like cut, 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 cut,
Yeah.
and but it's not out of place in this kind of movie. Like it kind of, it's not the greatest way to film, but it kind of fits the type of movie it is.
Okay.
Um, just something I just thought about, but and they don't offer a lot of like. There's no explanations about anything. They're just like, this is just like if anybody is alive in the United States should know what's going on.
Yeah, that's
Like
fair.
there's no like, oh, we don't have to explain any of this to anybody, and we're not going to.
Yeah, they just
It's
take it
just
that the audience who's watching knows what's going on.
yeah.
So,
Which I mean, most people probably do, but I don't know. Probably some people out there that don't exactly know, because I don't know. Did the movie take place in Nashville or in
uh,
Tennessee?
I think some of it did. Yes, yes, it took place in Nashville.
Okay, because I was kind of confused at one point because I kind of seemed like they were not like they may have been in California or something at one point, but then I was like, wait, doesn't make any sense because he said something about Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, is Nashville like that?
I have no idea.
I have no idea either. But who is like, oh, I'm down on my luck, and I can't get a job as a coach, so I'm gonna go to this place that I used to work at a long time ago that clearly isn't there anymore, and now I'm gonna wear a dress and be a waitress.
I don't know, dude.
I was like, how do you go to that? Um, it's
I
a
mean,
little
he kept getting fired from jobs. Like the job that
coaching
he
job.
yeah, the job that he just lost was at the YMCA, so it's not like a very prestigious job. So apparently he's just had a string of bad luck.
Yeah, I guess. Um,
But yeah, how you decide, hey, I'm gonna go dress up and wear a wig and a dress as a job, I don't understand.
yeah, I don't either. And do you make a lot of money in Olympic sports? I mean, I
Uh,
guess it would
like
just be off.
endorsements, you do, but not for the
It would
actual
just have to be
Olympics.
endorsements.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I guess. Anyway, so um, the first time they play basketball, when they go out there and they're watching the men's team play,
Uh huh.
and then they go back in the locker room and get dressed up, and they go back out, and they're like before it was just like its place is filled up and all that stuff, and everybody's screaming, and
Yeah.
then they go back out and there's like nobody there. And he
And
goes, "Welcome to women's
it's
basketball," or
women's
something.
basketball. Nobody watches. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a solid line, a solid joke.
yeah, that was pretty freaking funny. And then they did the montage where like they were just destroying the women's team that they were playing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That was that was hilarious. Like that reminded me of White Chicks.
Okay.
Um, so I think yeah, pretty sure there was a basketball scene in there where they do that. Anyway, so um, all right, what did you think about the actual premise of the movie as far as being the most controversial
Well,
movie
most
of
triggering
the year?
movie of the year is what it's billed as.
Oh, is that what they called it?
Well, most triggering comedy of the year. I
Okay.
don't feel like there's been any other comedies specifically made to trigger people, so I guess in that respect it's actually a true tagline.
Have there been any other comedies this year anyway?
Not that I can think of. And
Not that
especially
I can
not
think
ones
of.
that are basically made to poke fun at a social issue.
Yeah, a current the current zeitgeist.
So I guess from a technical perspective, it's true. I don't think it's the most triggering, most controversial comedy ever, but yeah, it did enough
Yeah,
to
no, I don't think so either.
it did enough to keep me interested. Like I never looked down at the time and was like, "Ooh, how much time do I have left to finish this?" So that's always nice when a movie has enough pacing and enough, I guess, comedy in this situation to keep me engaged.
Right. I mean, I think at one point I did. I was like, wait, how much of this is left? Because I wasn't bored. I was just like, when is it gonna end? Because I got things to do,
Okay.
kind of a thing. It wasn't like, yeah. Anyway,
But yeah, it was a
but
surprisingly long movie. It's almost 2 hours, hour and 52 minutes. So
yeah, but they've got like the opening thing, which is part of the time, which is like a promo
okay,
or something. Um, okay, so like the movie definitely went meta when like they started doing the Jeremy's Razors commercials,
uh-huh,
and
yeah. So
I what
those
did you think about that?
that as a joke, I don't think worked for me. Like I understood why they did it, and they were trying to be funny. That just was
Yeah,
a joke. I think that was one of the
that was
two
an
or three
inside joke.
gags that I was like, whatever. Like I don't think
Yeah,
it elevated the movie at all. So
right.
that joke didn't do anything for me. And then the stupid guy who kept showing up asking how much in a very creepy and perverted way. Again,
I didn't
wasn't
get that at all.
didn't hit didn't land for me.
The first time it was funny, but then after he kept showing up, well, I don't know if it wasn't like ha ha ha, like laugh out loud funny. It was just like, oh, there's a creepy guy being weird because they're being weird. Like they're in
Mm-hmm.
a back alley, like dressed like that. Obviously, somebody's, this is the place for that to happen. It's in a back alley with some weirdos, right?
Okay.
And then they run off and everything, and you're like, okay, whatever. But then he keeps showing up. I was like, why does he keep showing up?
Yeah.
Like everywhere and asking that same question. I was like, why? They could have completely cut that out and
Uh-huh.
would have made the movie slightly better. Um,
So I think those two jokes just didn't land with me at all. So what
yeah,
what jokes didn't hit for you?
those for sure. What's the other one? There was something at the thing with the badger.
Okay. See, that I kind of enjoyed, but I was irritated that they didn't go back and like wrap that up.
Well, like, like you mean unwrap it up where he had the guy locked in his basement?
Yeah, he had the guy in the badger costume tied up in his basement, and I'm like, okay, well, there's gonna be some kind of payoff here. It's gonna be hysterical, and then nothing. And I was like,
Right.
we just abandoned that plot thread. Then why have it in the movie?
I'm pretty sure now that I don't know if I'm gaslighting myself or not, but I think the badger was in the crowd at the very end of the movie when they were at the
Yeah, it was, but
yeah.
we don't know what happened. Like he's just there.
It's just there. It's like, okay, yeah, like that kind of I get it. There's not always that kind of stuff in comedies, but like they do that sometimes where there's just like a thing for no reason, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
kind of like Happy Gilmore and the Billy Madison movies, right? Where there's just something odd going on that doesn't have a resolution. And I think that's probably what that was, and the same thing with the guy that kept showing up asking the question. because um it kind of reminded me of of Happy Gilmore with the big guy that kept they got the nail in the head that
Okay.
kept showing up at all of the different golf courses throughout the movie. Like that's kind of what I was like, is that what they're trying to do here? So I think they were trying to put a lot of elements into it from different comedy things, which is fine, but some of them didn't land
Yeah.
and didn't mesh well, like that, because they kept. The problem is that they kept talking about the Badger thing
Mm-hmm.
throughout the movie. If they would have just left that, and then they would have never talked about Badgers again
Yeah.
until you see him at the end in the crowd. I think that would have been better. But he's like they keep bringing up the Badger trauma
Yeah.
the whole time.
I wanted to see a resolution to that plot thread, and it irritated me that there was nothing.
Yeah.
So,
What else?
what were the jokes that really landed for you?
See, that's part of the problem with the movie is that none of them were really memorable.
Okay. I disagree with you, but okay.
See, so like it was funny and I enjoyed it, but um like there's a bunch of quotable moments from like Happy Gilmore movies and all that stuff that I can remember now that I haven't seen the movies in years. I just saw this movie and I can't quite remember any of the quotable moments or quote unquote quotable moments.
Okay. Not even the winners are just losers who win. Like that was hysterical.
That was bothering me actually.
Really? Like I thought it was
I was like
hysterical. Like I feel like this could
I
be
was trying
something
to
that gets quoted a lot.
I mean maybe, but they tried to redeem it at the end
Yeah,
because it is stupid.
that was dumb. I didn't like trying to
Yeah,
redeem it at the end, but like when he's given or at the very beginning of the movie where the high school team is playing and losing, and he's like, "We need a speech," and he's like, "What? You think I can just start a speech and then does it and then ends with that?" Like that was hysterical.
yeah, okay. Yeah, it's funny. I get it, but can you quote the speech?
No, but the only important part of the speech is winners are just losers who win.
I guess, but the important part of the speech for me was that he's like, "What do you think I am? Like a speech writer where I can just come up with a speech on the moment and then he starts going into a speech like that's funny." Like that's the funny part. The quote at the end was I don't know. I tried to get on board with it. It didn't bother me. It was a little funny, but I think winners are losers who win is kind of dumb.
Well, yeah, that's the entire point.
Yeah, but I think it's like actually dumb. Like not just like dumb funny, but like actually dumb, like ignorant.
All right.
No, cuz winners by definition are not losers.
Correct. That's why it's funny.
Yeah, but he kept saying it over and over and over again.
Yeah,
And
and then
I
the
think
team
maybe
would
they
chant it whenever after he said it. So,
right, but they were winning.
uh-huh.
Like so I don't know, I don't know. It didn't hit home for me.
Okay.
Like I guess it did for you.
Yeah. I thought it was hysterical and
And
I
then
can see this being something that people quote all the time.
I could now that you're talking about it, like I can see that too. That's probably the quotable thing: is winners are losers
Winners are
that
just
win.
losers who win. Yep.
Yeah. So I guess, and I cannot recall what they changed it to at the end,
Winners are just
which was
losers who
not fun.
do what's right or something like that.
Yeah, which makes less sense.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to make it, I guess, morally accurate to the the character arc,
Uh-huh.
but it makes less sense than winners are just losers that win.
Yeah.
Um,
But I think the best joke or the best piece of comedy in the entire movie is whenever the first guy that he met, Alex, at the end, where uh, like everybody's coming to accept that pretending to be women are in sports is wrong before he goes
Yeah.
gets all the kids, and Alex is
Hmm.
sitting there talking to him, and he's like, "Yeah, I get it. All these other people aren't women, but I really am." And he goes and has his little speech about the parents loving him and whatnot, and he's like, "But how do you know I'm not a real woman?" And then he just,
And then he clocks him in the junk.
yeah, like that one was one of the times where I
Yeah.
just laughed for like 5 minutes. How do you
Yeah.
know I'm
Okay.
not?
Yeah, that was. Yeah, that was really good. But it's not really a joke.
I mean,
I mean, it
it was
is.
played for
It's a
comedy.
gag.
It's
Right.
slapstick comedy.
Right. Yeah. Man, it was freaking hilarious. But yeah, because I was thinking it too. Right before he did it, I was thinking it. I was like, "That's how you." I don't know, a woman, and then he just was like, "Wham!"
Yeah.
It's like he falls over, and then he like fixes his jacket and walks out or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, that was comedy gold. That was really good. Um, some of the stuff with the reporter was also really hilarious.
Which reporter are you talking about?
Um, the what?
Which
What do you mean?
reporter?
Which reporter?
I mean, there were multiple reporters in the
The
movie.
main one.
Oh, the main
The
female
main
one?
one.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gwen? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah,
Um,
she was just insane,
yeah.
and I don't know, like every time she it licked Jeremy's face, like he looked disgusted.
So
He's
uncomfortable.
like,
Yeah.
what? Yeah, it's like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
It's like, am I really doing this right now? Um, I liked how they didn't show anything inappropriate. Like he
Okay.
didn't kiss her, and they were fully clothed when they were in bed, and um, and all that stuff. Um, what did he say? Like he said something at the end, like at one point. I think he's like, "Are we ever gonna have sex?"
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh wait, they haven't yet?"
Yeah. Exactly.
You're like, "I thought that was already from the first time. Like, what did they do that? What did they do there? Like, what the heck is going on with this lady?"
Yeah.
Where they've been dating for what it seems like weeks, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But it also, the way they talk about it, it only seemed like a few days. So I was unsure of the timeline. Like, how long is this taking? Because like they went from like, you know, they just showed up one day and played
Mm-hmm.
basketball, and now they all have multi-million-dollar
Endorsement
sponsorships,
deals. Yeah.
and then the one guy, the rich guy was like he just dove headfirst into the social media thing
Uh huh.
and the uh like they played the first game, and then he's like day one of being
A
a
girl
woman,
athlete. Yeah.
yeah, a girl athlete, and then like then they played another game. So it's like, is that like they've done all this in the first day? Like the time, like that's why it was like very montage,
Mm-hmm.
the whole thing.
So, what did you think about the different cameos in the movie?
I didn't care that much about them.
Okay.
See, who did we have?
So Ben Shapiro showed up for like 2 seconds as a ref, who was like, "I'm only getting paid $50.
His
I don't care."
his cameo was funny, and it was also funny that they bleeped out his f words because they always bleep out his f words on his show.
Uh huh.
So I thought that part was funny because
Yeah, he just.
they
I thought he did a fantastic job because, like, the character is supposed to be uninterested in what's going on, but I feel like he was legitimately uninterested in being in the movie.
they were like, "Hey Ben, hey, come back here. We need you to do something real quick. Put this shirt on." And then he's like, "What do you want from me?
Yeah.
I've got to go to synagogue. Like, leave me alone." And then he's like, "Oh my gosh, these people are stupid, and they're actually. I thought they were joking about making this movie, and they're actually doing it.
Yeah.
Who signed up on this?" Yeah.
So I thought his cameo was the best. Then you had Michael Knowles and Brett Cooper as the TV hosts. I thought,
I mean, are those cameos though?
I don't know. I don't think they were supporting actors because they were in the movie maybe 2 minutes the entire thing. So
Yeah,
it was
but
just
they
a
had
couple.
several scenes.
Yeah. But yeah,
And they did have a character arc.
I really liked Michael Knowles' character arc where he's like, I'm 2000 something Indian. And then he's just
Yeah.
started really leaning into it. And he's, before what, I think the final game, or like the second to last game that the Lady Ballers were going to play, he walks up to the coach and he's like, how? And Coach Rob like holds
Yeah, it
up his
was like
hand,
this.
and then he's like, because he realized, oh, I probably shouldn't be doing the how thing.
Yeah. I thought that was funny because like they were just like regular reporters, and then he says something about them not being women, and then he's like, "I learned from sensitivity training."
Yeah.
Blah blah blah, and I also learned that I'm very tiny part Indian.
Yeah.
And who's the other? Was that Brett Cooper?
Yeah.
Was the other one?
Yep.
I don't remember what she was supposed to be.
I don't know. Like, they didn't really go into what she was, but she just dressed in some weird, or I don't know, weird, some strange attire, and I couldn't place what
I
she
wasn't
was
sure if
supposed
that
to
was
be.
like hippie attire or I don't know, because their scenes were so short.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who else is? What other cameos?
So I wouldn't
Um,
say that Matt Walsh had a cameo. I think he was more an actual
was a
part of the
character.
story.
Yeah.
I did like his character though until the last, I don't know, 15 seconds of the movie
That
because it
made no
didn't
sense.
fit.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
But like, I thought the character he played for the majority of the movie was hysterical. Just over the
It was
top,
annoying.
loves everyone, and just a complete and total hippie.
Yeah, but it made no like. Anyway, okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, Andrew Clavin, his was good.
His was good too.
Because he just told that guy to shut up, right, or something like that.
No, he said that's
What
the
was he doing?
biggest appendage on a female I've ever seen.
Well, yeah. That's right. Yeah. And then you had
Ted Cruz had
Ted Cruz.
a cameo, which I could have, like, I don't think that added anything either, other than just say, hey, we've got a senator in our movie.
Yeah, it didn't really do much, and it just made that, I guess, like because the mom and the daughter were fighting, so they were sitting apart. But then Ted Cruz shows up, and it kind of makes that scene about Ted Cruz.
Yeah, kind of.
And I'm like, why is he even there? Like, doesn't even need to be there. So yeah, that one was pointless. Candace Owens was in it for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Also, I think the movie ended before that scene.
Yeah.
Personally, or I think it should have.
They should have cut it before that scene because that scene was way out of place, and
yeah, it didn't make any sense. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else.
Not that I can think of. I think that
Um,
was it. Oh, you had the other coach who, oh, is what was his
Clay
name?
Travis?
Clay Travis. Yep.
Who is that?
Uh, he's a singer.
Podcaster? Oh, he's a singer?
I think so. I think that's right.
He's been on a bunch of podcasts. Okay, so that's probably just what he's been on. Clay Travis.
Yeah, pretty sure he's a singer.
Richard Clay Travis is an American writer, lawyer, radio host, television analysis, sports journalist. Travis founded Outkick as a political commentator. He and Buck Sexton host the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton show at a 3-hour weekday conservative talk show, which debuted in 2001 as the replacement for Rush Limbaugh.
Okay.
So he took over his time slot. He's just a podcaster. He's a writer, journalist. Blah blah blah. I didn't know who he was. I was like, am I supposed to know who that is? I felt like I was supposed to know who that is, but I didn't know who it was.
Okay. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else then.
Maybe you're thinking of someone else.
Anyway.
Who are you thinking of?
I don't know.
Okay. Who was that guy? The creepy Western guy?
I don't know. Nor do I care. Yeah, so a whole lot of cameos.
And I don't know. It's hard to call them like they are cameos, but it's hard to kind of call them cameos because this is an in-house movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Like your uncle showing up for Thanksgiving dinner for 5 minutes. You know, he's supposed to be there, but he didn't show up for very long.
All right, so is there anything else you want to talk about before we get to our closing thoughts?
Who is Brian and Jake Crane? Because they went by their real names in the movie.
Yep. They have a sports talk show on the Daily Wire.
Okay. Are they whatever weird twins?
I don't freaking know, dude.
What was that?
Again, I don't know, nor do I care.
Okay, you thought that was stupid too?
I did. Yep.
Okay. Like they were funny, but like that whole thing didn't make any sense. And how she knew that she was pregnant with both of their babies the next day.
Yeah, especially without any kind of genetic testing or anything.
Well, no, she said she did.
Right, but
she's like, I got the test results.
Right, but nobody tested them, so how did that work?
Yeah. Yeah. And then at first I thought it was a bit. I thought Jeremy Boring, the coach, I thought he put her up to it because he said something to somebody else about it. Somebody made a comment and he like hushed him up about it. So I thought it was just a bit, but I was like, nope, they actually went with that. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know. So okay. So what about that closing scene?
I thought the closing scene was stupid. So in the closing scene, you've got Matt Walsh's character sitting in a car spying on everyone, and then he takes off the wig and just goes back into Matt Walsh, and Candace Owens is sitting in the car next to him, and they have some stupid dialogue, he's like,
helped them or something. Yeah, he's like, job well done, and she's like, what do you mean? You didn't do anything.
Yeah,
and he was like, didn't I? Or something like that. It's like,
I don't know. It felt way out of place, and kind of, I don't know. it degraded or lessened the character that he played throughout the movie. So,
Yeah, because they made no like he didn't actually do anything in the movie.
uh-huh.
I don't know why they was like, oh, I'm this character, but now I'm Matt Walsh, who made all this happen, when he literally didn't. I don't know. If they were gonna do anything, a joke they missed out on was firing. Um, oh gosh, I just forgot his name. His name popped out of my
Michael
head. What's his
Knowles.
name?
Michael
Michael
Knowles.
Knowles. Like them firing, like they could have done that because like that's just the Ben Shapiro running joke is
Right.
him firing Michael Knowles. They missed an opportunity on that. That's an inside joke that they should have gone with. Okay. So the end of the movie, the coach is starting to have moral ticklings about the whole situation,
Uh-huh.
and the players are getting way too deep into this pretending to be girls thing.
Yeah.
So he so it seemed like they were going to do something to I guess fix the situation,
Uh-huh.
but um then the other team is like, "Oh no, we're switching out all of our players for men." Then that's when they really seemed like they're like, "Okay, now we have to switch or now we have to do something to fix this cuz it's gone too far."
Okay, yeah.
Like, no, went too far like at the
Way at the
very
beginning.
beginning.
Right.
Yeah. Then they bring out the kids. They switch out the lady ballers for kids
Uh-huh.
because you can be trans age. And and then the whole montage though where like the other basketball team was like he gave the ball to the girl and then he like lets her slam dunk it and they have all that fun and then like everybody's like, "Oh, hey, this is way better." And then Michael Knowles comes on at the end and he's like, "They got beat 418 to 6."
Yeah. That was good.
It's like, okay, so the only points they scored were those 3 slam dunks that they showed.
There you go.
And then the guys were like, okay, we're tired of this now. We're going to go back to just playing basketball.
Yeah.
I was like, that's hilarious. I didn't see that coming at all. But I don't know. I thought it was, I guess, some kind of a fix, but I don't know. I I don't think they had a good way to fix it
Yeah. I
without
like
really pissing everybody off.
I wasn't crazy about that ending, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to resolve the story. So,
Right, yeah, like how do they get out of this without yeah, like I don't know. I don't know how they get out of it. But they did what they could, which
yep.
I guess the whole movie for my final thoughts like it seemed very much like a home kind of movie. Like just get all your friends together and shoot the movie in your backyard kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Not as far as quality of the film goes, but just as like that's what it was. They all work together. They got a
Mhm.
few people to come in to act and do a few things. Everything is like in house. They're promoting their own products throughout
Right.
the whole thing, which is fine. I don't have a problem with it. Um, it's probably shot in like days, maybe weeks tops,
Yeah.
and but I guess the quality of the movie doesn't suffer from that,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
which means that you can make really good movies or decent movies with low
Not a
budgets.
not a whole bunch or not a massive inflated budget. Yep.
Yeah, a comedy movie doesn't need a $50 million budget.
For
You
sure.
could do it with a couple $1 million or less.
Uh-huh.
It's funny. It's amusing. I enjoyed it. The only downfall, really, is that you have to subscribe to the Daily Wire to watch it. Um, yeah, I guess that's the only thing is if you don't have the Daily Wire streaming service, then I don't know if I would purchase it to watch it.
Okay,
Honestly,
that's a fair
you?
fair critique. I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was. I mean, it's not the best movie or best comedy ever, but it still got me interested enough to watch it, to finish it, and I enjoyed it. So overall, I think it's a success.
Yeah. Well,
So
if anybody is still watching, let us know what you think of the movie if you've seen it or not, whether or not it's it's good or people should go watch it. Um, yeah, and if you're still hanging around, give us one of those. How about that? Thumbs up, maybe high five. I'll give you a high five. Ryan, high five.
no,
Oh,
yeah. So
suck
be
it
sure
up.
to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave comments down below on your thoughts, or if you have any other entertainment that you want us to review, leave that down below as well.
Yep. We do movie reviews. Supposed to be on Mondays, but a little late this week. And then Thursdays we usually review a TV show or comic book or some other form of media. And so if you have any suggestions, let us know, and we might check it out. And you can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Rumble. Did you already say all that?
I did not. Nope.
Okay. At BRH Reviews or the Brandon and Ryan Hour. And I guess we will see you guys later.